What's going on with ADEYEMI? Thank you, Cahill. You have brought me to my next bit of information, bro. Let's talk a little bit about Karim ADEYEMI. So, on this one, as of yet, I don't have a definitive link for Liverpool to ADEYEMI, but Mr. I change my mind every 5 minutes, Florian Plettenberg, said, news on ADEYEMI. At the right price, Borussia Dortmund is open to discussing and would be willing to sell the 22-year-old winger. He's contracted until 2027 and he is looking for a new agent. So this might come down to what agency he signs up with. ADEYEMI, with a market in the Premier League, there are already interested teams. He goes on to say, Dortmund want to go all in for Füllkrug and from Stuttgart, and it depends on their plans in the wing position. Currently, their interest is cooled somewhat, but they are open to selling Karim ADEYEMI, and I would take him in a heartbeat. You know, we were in for ADEYEMI before he went to be Borussia Dortmund, and nothing has changed in my mind, only for he's matured a little bit, got a lot more experience. They don't talk about a price here from Florian Plettenberg, but for me, I'd very much take Karim ADEYEMI at Liverpool, and I'm going to put that to the poll, the next poll now in a moment or two. At 22 years of age as well, he does fall into that sweet spot if Liverpool, and I don't know what the numbers are, the underlying numbers here that Richard Hughes and that Edwards would and Julian Ward will have looked at, but he is a player that obviously we have history with, having looked to bring him in before he signed for Dortmund. So maybe there's a bargain there to be had, or maybe he hasn't proved himself enough. So I guess I'm going to ask you guys now, would you be interested? I'm going to move on in a minute to talk about Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord. But before I do, I want to get some more of your opinions on ADEYEMI. If you were Michael Edwards and you were considering a move for ADEYEMI, what's the number? What's fair market value for you if you were Michael Edwards' position? The first two are quite wide. Nix says 30 million, then Mahmoud says 80 million. Samson said 40 million. Rainbow Go-Kart, 65 million max. 60 million for Darwizi. Oscar said 40 mil. 75 mil for Scouser Cam. Stephen Rosca, 60 mil. Cahill, 30 mil. I think the number's probably somewhere between 40 and 50, if I'm being honest with you. But as I said, nothing's been mentioned other than Florian Plettenberg saying that they could be willing to do business on ADEYEMI this summer. 45, there's a good few between 40, 45 million. A lot of you guys and girls have been putting in about 40, 45 million in there as well. Is ADEYEMI good? I'd rather go for Lookman. Well, Lookman's a bit older at 26, also been moved around quite a bit, and never really had a full breakthrough season for me, Ademola Lookman. Had an incredible Europa League final. I mean, that's his final, he owns it. But I don't know. I'm not sure if Lookman has the consistency at 26 as well for Liverpool to look at. Mick M said, ADEYEMI, 21 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. Think he needs more time, max 30 million for him. So, if Salah stayed and ran down his deal, which, by the way, I don't want him to do because I think the club need to get money from or extend. But that would give an option for ADEYEMI to spend a bit more time. It would also give us an option to have a better look at the likes of Ben Doak, Cade Gordon as well. Do you know what makes me nervous, guys? If I'm being really honest, I'm seeing lots of talk about cheap signings again and bargains and the manager coming in to develop youth. And look, we all love a youth player coming through. We do. And we've had some brilliant players come off the production line over recent years. But we also need to act like a big club occasionally. And the positions for me that need to be addressed are centre-back, defensive midfield, and an attacker. Now, David Lynch has been speaking a little bit about the defensive midfield position, and I'll come on to talk about that in a second.